Welcome to Vizkits. If you're here, you've either attended our Get Accredited Ready training or you've just got a specific interest in Tableau. The training covers all you need to know to pass the Desktop Specialist and Data Analyst exams. Stick around at the end of the exercise solution for more information. By the end of the 18 exercise solutions, you'll end up with 4 interactive dashboards just like these. The content in this solution video covers the following material from the training: reference lines and trend lines. We're now on page 46 of the exercise manual, and you need to be in the My Get Accredited workbook as usual. We're going to create a new sheet. So click on new worksheet, and we're going to call this average days to ship. We're going to create a calculated field to work this out. So top right hand corner of the data pane, create calculated field, and we're going to call this number of days to ship. So we're going to use the date diff function. If I choose that from here, you can see that Tableau's given us a quick idea of the syntax that we need. So we need a date part. Whenever you're using a date part in a calculated field, it needs to be lowercase, needs to be in quotes, needs to be singular. And then we need to tell Tableau the 2 dates that we're counting the number of days from and to. So our date part is day, in quotes, and then a comma, and then we're going to use our order date. So our order date sits in our orders table, and a comma, and then we're going to use our shipped date, which is also in the orders table. So it's the date diff function, and then we've got the singular day, which is our date part, our start date and our end date to count from and to. So that exists now in our orders table, and we're going to drag that onto our column shelf. And of course that's giving us the sum at the moment. We don't want the sum, we want the measure, so I'm going to right click on there, we want the average, so I'm going to change that to average. You can see the scale of the axis now changed. From the customer section, we want to drag country customers to the rows shelf. So we've got our country customers, which is in our geographic region hierarchy. I'm going to bring that onto the rows shelf, change that fit to entire view. And then from the analytics pane, we're going to drag the reference line option. So just click on the analytics tab, opens up the analytics pane, and we're going to drag that reference line, and we're going to drag this onto the table, and we get our pop-up to configure this. I want the label to be the computation, which is this here, which is the average, custom, and I'm going to add the computation to the label and just put is, and then I'm going to choose the value, which is obviously going to be the average number of days to ship. We're going to change the line to be a thick red dashed line. I'm going to change the opacity to 50%. I think 29 is probably too much opacity. And then click on OK, and you can see that we've got our reference line, and we can see which countries are above or below the average number of days to ship. So I'm going to right click on the average number of days to ship. I'm going to choose format, and then from the pane tab I'm going to go to numbers, number format, and I'm going to change it to number custom, and I don't want any decimal places. So this is really just for the label, for the reference line. If we click in the top right hand corner, that closes the format pane. I'm going to go back to the data pane, and I'm going to scroll down to our products drill down. I want this to exist in its original table now, so I'm going to duplicate that, and it becomes a copy, and you can see that's now back in the category section. And I'm going to drag that category name copy onto the rows shelf to the right of country customers. Looks very busy at the moment, so I'm going to change the fit to width. So when we added that reference line, we added it to the table, so it's actually working out the average across the whole visualization. What we actually want, we want it to work out the average for each country, so for each pane. So we need to edit that reference line to be able to do that. So we can right click on our average number of days to ship, to edit reference line we want. And I'm going to change this to be per pane rather than the entire table. Click on OK, and you can see now that we're working out the average, so which categories are above or below average number of days to ship for each country now. We're going to copy drag country customers onto the filter shelf, and I'm going to untick that null box. I'm not going to look at those, so I've got rid of the nulls. And I'm also going to change the formatting of that reference line, so I'm going to right click here and go to edit reference line. I'm going to change that fill below to a light blue. Click on OK. And I'm not going to show the axes anymore, so I'm going to untick show header. Where we've got our country customers labels here, I'm going to right click and hide those field labels. As ever, make sure that you save the workbook. So now we're going to look at trend lines. So the trend lines in Tableau are used to estimate the trend of the variables. It helps identify the relationship between the two variables by observing the trend of variables simultaneously. So I'm going to add this to the scatter plot. And from the analytics pane, so again click on the analytics tab, we've got trend lines here. I'm going to drop that on, and I'm going to drop it on as a linear trend line. You can see we've got a trend line now. From the customers section of the data pane, so let's go back to the data pane, we've got our customers section. If you drag geographic region onto colour, you can see now that we get a trend line for each of our regions. If we want to remove the trend lines, just right click and untick show trend lines, and I'm also going to take that back off colour. I'm going to re-add a trend line, oops, just this one here, and add a linear trend line back on there. If I go back to the data pane now, from the customer section, we're going to add country customers to the row shelf. And what that gives us, it gives us a scatter plot for each country, but it looks a bit cluttered. It's not very visual insightful, but we can use the pages shelf here to allow the user to tab through each country. So in essence, we're going to get a page for each country. So this time I'm not copy dragging, I'm going to drag the country customers onto the pages shelf. And you can see now that you can actually tab through each country. You can actually hit the play button here, and that will be animated for you. Just hit stop to stop. Make sure you save the workbook. And that's the end of exercise 6.1. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, follow and subscribe, as I'll be posting a lot more content than just the exercise solutions. And if you're interested in attending the training, then visit our website vizkits.co.uk. There's a course every week, and for only £99 you get a one-day online course that will cover all of the material that you need to know to pass the Tableau Certified Desktop Specialist and Tableau Certified Data Analyst exams. All delegates are given a 100+ page exercise manual containing 18 detailed exercises to complete offline. The exercises will test what you have learned and give the trainer an idea of how well you've learned the material. All exercise solutions are available as videos on YouTube, so if you get stuck, there's help available online. You'll need to submit the completed exercise workbook to the training for evaluation about a week after the course. The trainer will then schedule a 1-hour online face-to-face meeting to discuss your strengths and weaknesses and advise you if you're exam ready and what you need to work on. If you just want the exercise solution manual, then that's available as well for £19.99. See you all on the next video.